Demetri.
Hi, Miss Kendra.
See, that's you know what it is. It's that
What is-
smile and that voice. It's
I
that.
I appreciate you. It's a lot. I'm gonna let you introduce all those things, but it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
First, I want to say this. I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you. You reminded me that I met you years ago because you were on
Mhm.
the radio show when I lived in Chicago.
That
We
was
did tonight's conversation this
absolutely.
past May. And when he came out on stage, child, the ladies went crazy. You definitely the lover boy.
I don't get
After
it.
we were done, they was in line for the lover boy. And I remember talking to you like this is a lot, huh?
Yeah.
I'm proud of you for building a name in the space and what you're doing. I'm proud of
Thank you.
you for representing a black man who wants to be married and wants to be in a relationship. And because of all these things, you got girls throwing their panties at the phone. They
At the phone.
got their panties at the phone. This lady was 40,
Ah,
40 years old and said, I want you. I wouldn't go 11 years younger, but for Demetri, I am going to make an exception. So
you
before
wouldn't
we
go
get,
11? You
huh?
wouldn't go 11 years younger? That's too young for you?
No, because I feel as though if I go 11 years younger, it's a sugar mama situation. And although
Mm,
I respect, I you know I respect the come up because I'm a come up. I
mm,
fall into if I was a man, I would be considered a come up for a man. But there
mm.
are some men that I am a come up for, and I'm just not. Maybe when I'm 70 and don't give a damn, and like, I'm 70, I might be on my Chris Jenner when I
All
get
right.
70.
For
Like when
sure.
I'm
For
70
sure.
at Chris Jenner, maybe at that time, I'm like, should I got all these millions? Let me just go buy me.
Let me go get a younger man. Okay, I like it.
And
That's
then
fair.
also, and not for nothing. I know y'all don't know my business, but I have very great dating options. I'm not a
Mm,
person that lacks in dating, so I don't have to take care of a man. I got men who can take care of me if that's the way I want to go.
man, you better
Okay.
talk. You better tell
Yeah, yeah. But
them.
that's not what we're here for. You see, you good at what you do. We're focusing on you. So before we go to the deeper of the lady, there are some people who are not familiar. So
Okay.
I want you to tell them about yourself, your podcast, what you do, and then I'll get into the lady that called me and was mesmerized.
Okay, me personally, my name is Demetri Wiley. For everybody who is not familiar with who I am, I'm from the west side of Chicago, born and raised. What can I tell you in a quick summary? I was in a long-term relationship. I met a young woman when I was 13. I fell head over heels in love at 13 years old. Her mother passed away right around that time. I did like a trauma bond to her. And right before that, I was scared of it, so I had my older brother break up with her on the phone, like, nah, I don't know what's going on in my chest. Could you handle this? And he handled it for me, and then her mother passed, and I trauma bonded. And for years, I spent years getting myself together, developing myself as a man to be ready for when that young woman came back around. And that young woman did come back around, and she turned out to be the mother of my child. Unfortunately, who we grow to be in between that time was never accounted for. How that losing her mother affected her and her relationships and things like that, I never took into account. Not that I wasn't willing to, aid in that in the moments I could. It just made us further apart than we were when we was kids. So, the relationship didn't work. It eventually fell apart, and it was one that I did absolutely fight for. I was that man, like, baby, please, like, we ain't even got to go this way. You know, I was the one in the ear, like, family's most important, keep it together, XYZ, blah, blah, blah. And that's not what she needed in her life at that moment. We both was battling a pretty silent depression amongst each other, and we separated. And since then, I went on like a 2.5 year, like maybe 2 year hiatus of dating altogether, just to clear my own mind, understand myself, because I come from a two-parent household. So my dad has always loved on my mother, so that's always what I wanted to do to mine. I've always dreamt of having a daughter, but whatever the case is, I took my hiatus. I jumped back into the dating world, and amidst jumping back, this young lady, I attempted to go out with this young lady. and we had plans and everything. And I talked to her that morning, and a missed from maybe 3 hours in the difference. The date went on. We were set to go out later, and she canceled. And she did it without no call, no text, no nothing. I called her to be like, when can I pick you up? And she said, "Oh, we still doing that?" Like that. And prior to this, she had informed me that she had like daddy issues, and he was never present, and he never loved on her correctly, and all of these things. So I just gave her advice, and I felt compelled enough one day randomly. I got in my car and I made a video, and I said, it's funny enough because the video actually starts, "I just want to get this out of my head." And there was no "I just want to get this off my chest," which so many people know now. But I made a video saying that there is a young man who's been healing, taking his time, getting ready for you. And you got to understand, this man is not everything you've been through. This man is attempting to grow with you. He'll learn with you. He'll do all these things. And I put it out there, and I looked up the next day with 300,000 people. And they told me make a TikTok. So I made a TikTok, and I put the same video on TikTok, 300,000 again, and somebody commented like, "You sound like the guy from Good Girls. The I just want to get in the car, Elizabeth guy." And it was a real popular TV show, and she was like, "Say the line in the video." So I was like, "I don't know how to work TikTok." I stitched it, I set the line, and it was like 10 million. And then again and again, people was asking me for advice and which way to take it and direction. And they was like, something. And I've always thought this was just, common knowledge to a lot of people. But from what I've learned in those relationships, and from the bad times, from the good times, I speak on it all. But I speak from my experiences. I speak from what I went through. So, and I promise you, I found myself at times giving advice to the man she ended up with, like subconsciously. Like, if I couldn't do it and I was lost in these moments, maybe you can do it. And I'm not saying I'm the reason the relationship failed, because it's by no means, but um I'm a lover through and through, a lover boy for sure. And I started a podcast because they told me to. And we've been rocking out since. It's been tours, and that's how I was able to re-meet you at tonight's conversation. God is amazing. I'm just a man who's manifesting a wife.
Yes, God is amazing. God is amazing. Listen, I had a career dedicated to celebrities for 20 plus years, and then God changed my whole life. And now I'm in this space of talking to
Mhm.
single people, which I actually love, to be quite honest, because it allows me to connect with everyday people opposed to stars. But now let me go back to you. So, you saw the video of, oh, child, why can't I think of Misty?
Mhm.
Misty that called in, and Misty is a mom of four, married twice, attractive woman who only wanted to connect with you. At the time, she said your podcast, and I wasn't sure of your podcast name, but when she said your name, it rings a bell. And then when I went to the IG, I was like, I actually know Demetri.
Reaching out for help to reach out to a specific person. So there's somebody that I'm specifically interested in, and I've been attempting to reach out to them, but I think that they're kind of like an upcoming celebrity ish, I guess you would say.
And I know this person.
I don't know. But because you're in that world, or just because of your show, your platform, that I just thought that this would be a good way to try to reach out to them, because I've attempted other ways, but I think that they get so many messages from so many people that I think I just kind of get lost in the sauce.
Okay, so who is the person?
Are you familiar with the Lost Lover Boy podcast with Demetri Wiley?
Oh, actually, I know him. I
Yeah,
did tonight's
yeah,
conversation with him.
yes, that's what I was trying to
Okay,
think
so
of the
him,
name.
I didn't know the name of his podcast. You want me to hit up Demetri directly for you to
Yes,
meet
ma'am.
me? Are you older than you're 40, right?
I am.
You said you try to reach out. How, in what ways did you try to reach out?
So I have sent him DMs a couple times on Instagram. I don't want it to seem like I'm like some crazy stalker, or like I'm
Oh
obsessed
no,
or
you're
doing
definitely
anything.
coming. Well, your girlfriend, you know you're coming across as a stalker. This is gonna be your 30 seconds to talk to Demetri, and I will make sure he sees what you have to say. Go.
Demetri, if you're watching, I would just really love the opportunity to get to know you better in person. I would like for you to get to know me. I feel like that we could have a lot of fun together and that we could just share some insight for the things that we know about love. And I'm just really um, interested in getting to know you. And I appreciate everything that you do. And I admire you. And I just would love to hang out sometime.
Okay, and what's your name on the Kendra G Singles dating app?
The reason why I covered my face in shame it's not really shame, but like the name that I actually put was I specifically made my profile to reach out to him, to get in touch with you, to reach out to him. And what he does a lot of times whenever he does his podcast and whenever he does his videos, he talks a lot to Mrs. Wiley. So I put
So
future
you put
Mrs.
his
Wiley.
last name in your okay. Wait, so you have Dimitri's last name as your username inside?
It says future Mrs. Wiley.
Future
I just
Mrs. Okay, so okay, so okay, let me take it from the top. So it is future Mrs. Wiley. If you put up future Mrs. Wiley, you will see her on the Kendra G Singles dating app. You are taking manifestation all the way. I mean, one thing, I don't know if this is the power or manifestation or crazy. What is the age difference? I don't know his exact age.
I believe he's 29, so it's like 11 years. It's not like I would date all 29-year-olds. I wouldn't set my bar that low in general.
Okay. I don't know this about Demetri. Do you know if he wants more kids?
He does. He actually wants to at least have a daughter, and I have 3 of them.
So he wants to have, so you want to have another baby?
I'm open.
So you said he wanted a daughter, and then you initially said you have 3. So you think that being that you have a mom of 3 girls, that would be sufficient? I'm confused.
No, no, not necessarily. He would probably still want his own child, which is fine. But I mean, I know that he wants at least a daughter, and he wants to raise a daughter. So maybe he might want to raise 3.
Your oldest child's 20, and he's 29.
I know, Kendra.
You and I talked over the weekend, so I know you already saw the video. The audience wants to know your reaction. What was your reaction when you watched that 30, I think it was like 30 minutes plus interview of this woman who only wants to be with you to the point where on my dating app, her name was Mrs. Wiley?
Everybody want to know my reaction. My reaction. I was amazed, honestly. I was flattered for sure that somebody would go to such a degree to actually get my attention. She said she had been reaching out for quite some time, and she is correct. I get a lot of messages, so it's hard to keep up, but definitely flattered. When it actually progressed, it got a lot more confusing. I think
Well,
you asked great questions.
let's not skip over that. What were some of the things that got more confusing?
I think you actually asked great questions, which is what made it so compelling. Like she mentioned me wanting a daughter, and this is a heart's desire of mine. I always want a daughter because I feel like what you can teach a young lady from a man's perspective is a powerful thing. But you said it, and she was like, "Well, I have 3." And I don't actually think people understand it's not as simple as raising someone else's. It's an internal thing in which you're aiming to satisfy. So like for me, I was kind of like taken aback. Like, all right now, that comes off as a little selfish, but um
I don't
I
want
think
to
the
real quick, and I think
Mhm.
this could be a teachable moment because shout out to all my women who have children. I just literally had this conversation on the dating app. That's what made me go over longer. I had a woman who was a mom of 3, and her kids' ages were younger, and by 3 men, and she just really felt like this wasn't information that men should know,
Mhm.
and why does it matter to a man? And I was trying to explain to her, and I've learned this from men themselves in hosting this show. And I think, ladies, I want this to be clear. Like I told her, your worth isn't determined by a guy. But why does that matter to men? The amount of children a woman may have before you date them.
I think the thing about it is I know we shy from words like this, but when you look at children in general, it's a lot. It's heavy. I have a son, a 6-year-old son. Name is Logan. Shout out to my baby, but he's a burden on me sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes I'm just tired and I need a break because I'm an everywhere dad. I'm a doctor's appointment, a dentist. I'm everywhere I need to be. School field trips. And the thing about it is, you're asking someone to take on that from your life. So the thing about it is, and that may also come with a lot. You have, Kendra, the funniest part about it all, as I was listening to it, I actually got a message from who I believe to be her ex-husband in my DM. Yeah, yeah.
What did her ex-husband?
As I was watching it, the phone dings and there it is right there in front of my face. And he says one word. He says run, is what he told me.
Her
And
ex-husband's a hater. Now that
that's some hating shit. That was some hating shit he did right there.
her ex-husband DM'd you.
DM me, yeah. And that was some hating shit though. But
That-
in my honest opinion, that itself speaks to the problem you're asking another man to bear. I don't need to be fighting another nigga over something that was never mine. You know what I'm saying? And the amount of entitlement these men tend to take, they might not even want you no more. They just don't want you happy. And when they come around and see a nigga actually gonna love you correctly, now it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I would already be stepping into a mess. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's what her life is, but to a degree, you cannot have um, an overbearing amount that you're asking a man to take on without having the worth in equal. Everything has to equal out. It's a relationship, and I don't mean to make it sound transactional, but to some degree, love is a balance, baby, and we gotta balance each other out. And I don't think enough people actually take that into consideration. I absolutely don't mind dating a woman with children, but the thing about it is, it's all about the dynamic of the relationship. I have a child, but I don't have child's mother, baby daddy, baby mama drama at all. Like that's not in my life, and I've actually made it that way. The fact that that man inboxed me as I was watching the video, I said, God, you're something else, But it
yeah.
was it was interesting. And then there is the age gap, you
I was gonna
know.
bring that up next. So let's talk about the age gap because she was 40 and you're 29. And I didn't know your exact age, but I knew that you were. I actually thought you were 32. So when she said 29, I was because 32. I thought, okay, maybe that's not as bad at 40,
Mhm.
but you're not even 30 yet. And she did say that she learned that after this crush,
Mhm.
mounted for you. But then she also proceeded to say that sometimes people think they want something, but God might package it differently than
Mhm.
what you think you may want. Which I think sometimes, and I love my ladies. I really do. I'm really a girl's girl, whether y'all know it or not. And I try to give truth with love, but I stand on, even in my case, if I'm dating somebody 11 years younger, I would believe he's with me because of the access of who I am and
Mhm.
what he can benefit from or the amount of money that I make. Because if I'm dating you, you're worth something, right? You got it going on. So if you got it going on, that means you have a lot of options in your age range, right?
Mhm.
Like if you are a man of worth, you have a lot of options in your age range and younger.
Absolutely.
So, what would make me so special that all these women you're gonna look past to come 11 years older to court me, right? That's just how I look at it. And of course, there's exceptions to the rules. Shout out to Drea, because she done got there's exceptions. But what I will say is, what people skip over when they come to Drea, she had a baby and two other girls had a baby all at the same time. So
Mhm.
that big check came with certain things that I personally would not accept either. But I don't
Absolutely.
want to get I don't want to get confused. I want to stay with you.
I think I think the age, when it comes to the age, I do. And this is me personally, and this is probably where she got it from. She's correct. I do believe age is a concept. I don't believe age measures maturity as much as people say it does. You can have lived your whole life and gained as much experience as the next person in a shorter amount of time. That is true. I may know how to love a woman better than a 50-year-old man can love a woman. That is true. But the thing about it is, where it all went wrong for me, I can't say where it all went wrong because it started pretty bad. When I got the message, I was like, God damn, first 5 minutes. But I think where it went wrong for me is you alluded to the fact that you guys may not be compatible. And she was like, that's fine. I understand. That's not fine. That's not okay. Because the thing about it is, me personally, when I think of dating and relationships, this is something you have to do for the rest of your life. I'm trying to, this is you my person for the rest of my life. So things like that matter. Like, can we vibe, and is there a connection? And if the music too loud in the car, you gonna tell me cut it off. It's my song. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's small things like that that people actually don't take into account when they make in these relationships. Kendra, I'm not looking to get a divorce when my time comes. This Mrs. Wiley has one time. We doing this one time, and we doing it. I swear, I'm not standing at the altar saying I do if I don't. I'm not doing it because I'm looking for, and I just said this in a video yesterday. You are essentially dating and looking for the person who's going to help you bury your parents, who's going to call the funeral home when you can't emotionally do it and say, this is what we need to happen. I got to be very wise in that decision. And, for me, compatibility matters. And, not a lot of people actually see it that way.
Well, this is why all the girls love you, because there's not too many men. I mean, there are men like this. So let me say this. I think what happens is I get good guys that call my show all the time, but what they lack at times, what the bad guys have is usually like swag,
Mhm.
attractionness, or like money. They have something the bad guy, you
Mhm.
know, draws the women into, right? Then the good guy that talks like you may not always have those things. You
Mhm.
got the makings of both. You're obviously attractive, you're successful,
Thank you.
and you're talking about getting married one
Mhm.
time, loving on your wife, this lifelong plan. So it's like refreshing. Like the things that you're saying are very refreshing to a lot of women because we don't hear it as much, right? On
Absolutely.
the show. So I think that's where you got her. So now let me just ask you this directly. Would you date a woman that was 11 years older?
I would.
You would.
I
Okay.
would.
So
Yeah.
so at 29, so you would date a woman that's 40. Okay. I
Yeah.
thought that was the big draw right there. So you would date a woman that's
I
40.
would date a woman who was older than me. Absolutely.
And you would marry her and have kids together.
Yeah. If we could, absolutely.
Okay. Okay. So that
But the
is
thing about it is, it's those things, those smaller things matter, like compatibility. Those smaller things matter, like chemistry and our connection. Now it gets a little more complicated when you start adding what comes with this woman who's 40. If you've already been married twice, there's things in my heart that is I'm already being let down because I want to experience an I do moment for the first time with you experiencing it for the first time. So for me, it's like the things I value in life and what I'm chasing, you've already went through. And you may not see it as special as you may think divorce is an option. It's not an option for me, baby. Like, it's till death do us part. You know what I'm saying?
did
So
that matter to you that she's been married twice and divorced? Did that matter
it
to you?
does. It does. And I think the reason being is because it tells you, just like anything else, we all have a resume and something. It's like if a man is never it, and this is just speaking in more of a business sense. If a man has never made a certain amount of money, you can assume he doesn't know how to manage a certain amount of money, or it won't be as valuable to him if he once did reach it. So for me, I look at it like you may get an argument that feels very familiar to why you got a divorce the first time, and that is going to reflect into our relationship. And I don't want that. I want someone who sees me and says, "This is my husband, not my third." You get what I'm saying? And I don't know, that may sound selfish to a lot of people, but that's just my reality. We are the resume we acquired. The people you've laid down and had children with, just like that man messaging me, that's the mess I would have to deal with if I was to take it on. And I don't even have that in my own life, so that matters more than the age for me.
Okay, okay. Well, this is gonna sound like, so this is the word that comes to my mind. I just adore you. Like, I feel like sometimes adore is so young, but I think, so obviously this wasn't a match. We kind of got to that part, but we wish her the best. I think that she's an attractive woman, and when I was trying to convey, I didn't think it would be a match, but there were so many other men who I think she could still have a chance with. I just felt like she used the moment with me to only focus on you, and because of that, it might have turned other guys off. But I will say this, and I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna probably get some flack, but I'm gonna say it. I think there's also a pretty privilege that sometimes kind of could hurt beautiful women because, see, beautiful women are so used to being told that they're beautiful, and she was gorgeous. I mean, I said it as soon as I came when she came on, right?
Mhm.
And that is hands down. That's a fact. It's not debatable. But what happens is sometimes I've learned that because pretty women are just so used to getting what they want, the world is of the oasis. When you come on my show, you're not the pretty girl in your city no more or in your state. Now you are in a category of all tents around the world, and which are different levels, age, no kids. Let me tell you something. I'm around these men, and that's why I always try to tell the women. I try to tell them, Dada, I've seen gorgeous. Okay,
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
seen 21 gorgeous, ain't got no job. Her rent is paid because she's gorgeous. Like it
Absolutely.
happens. Like just so pretty, she don't gotta work because there's 5 men that take care of all her bills. And I think sometimes I always hate the word competition, but because y'all want this one guy, because at the end of the day, you're one guy and you're also a famous guy. And I witnessed just one stop with you. Like I
Mhm.
was in one stop with him in Atlanta, and that's just the group of Atlanta. We're going to DC, we're going to
Mhm.
New York, we're going to Chicago, and then they're gonna have another 10,000 women that are also gonna feel like they want to be Mrs. Wiley too. So I just want women to understand when you hone in on a guy like a Demetri or a guy that's very, very sensational, it's worlds of women
I
that'll come.
think, yeah, if I can add to that advice, if I could tell her anything, and I did, I actually reached out to her.
Oh, you reached okay, you
Yeah, I
reached out to
did.
her.
I did.
Oh, okay. Well
Absolutely.
then there's some positivity.
I absolutely reached out to her, and I think in regards of the way the world views it so negatively, we attack everything in such a negative fashion that a lot of women couldn't see the courage that took. And the thing about it is, I understand the differences. I understand, the way the cards may fold. But the thing about it is, she did something a lot of women would be terrified to do. She did something that resulted in a pushback that she said, I'm willing to live with if this works in my favor. Kendra, we get one life. One life. If you don't go after everything you want in life, just like that young lady did, you may never get a good thing. And the thing about it is, for her, if I was to speak up, and I did, and I didn't give her this advice, but I did say thank you, and we had a brief conversation, and she gave me some things that she wanted me to know, and it was all. I just wanted her to know that internally she's not wrong for how she feels. Emotions are emotions. You're going to go towards what you're drawn to. That's human nature. And for people to be slandering her and saying, oh, her age, and oh, she don't, women are delusional and all of this shit, I see the man saying it too. That's not how you approach any situation. You handle it more so like you did. You give her the tips and guidance to make life a little differently. If it was me talking specifically to her, and I don't know, somebody said she was in the comment section,
Well, it's
but
okay. Here's the deal. So I don't like to put that wasn't our agreement. I saw that too, but I never want to put nobody on the spot. That was your call, and I didn't want to put you on the spot if you wanted to talk to her
absolutely.
or not. So you want me to bring her on?
You can if you like.
Okay, if she's still here, yeah. One thing about me that wasn't the agreement when we talked, so I wasn't gonna set you up. Okay,
No,
Misty, if
absolutely.
you're here, Misty, if you're here and you push the request, I will bring you on stage. You got to let me know if you're here. But I saw the cousins, but how I operate, if I told him I'm never gonna bombard somebody that comes on my show
Very
and not
demure.
like I don't do stuff like that. So if only reason I'm bringing it up is because you brought it up, and if you're comfortable with it, then I will bring her
Absolutely.
on. But I wasn't gonna just set you up and have you talk to her live without us having that
No, I
conversation
understand.
first. Yeah.
Absolutely. Very
Uh,
professional, very demure. Clock it, clock it.
no, I mean, here's the deal. I understand the caliber of guy you are, and I will say this now. and you are right from the perspective of you got to go for what you know. I think I didn't even look at it like that. I thought she was crazy, but
Mhm.
you are right. Like if this is the way, and if she is here, I would totally bring her on. I don't see her in my comment section, so she's not. She didn't push to be a guest. So I know you guys said she was here, but she has to push to be a guest for me to bring her on. That was a win for her. So she didn't get the husband, but she did get the direct connection, the
You did
direct.
exactly what she asked you to do. You did it
Did y'all talk
above
on
and
the phone or
beyond.
was it DM?
It was through Instagram.
Okay, okay.
Hmm.
Well, girlfriend, you get a chance to talk to him on straight. You better push that request. All right, okay, she's here. Okay, we're gonna bring her on. 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 I am. Listen, I am the match kind of maker.
The kind of
I'm
match
making.
make
I'm the dream maker. I'm
halfway
the dream
match.
maker. Misty, we can't see your face.
Um,
Oh, Misty.
Miss Missy, how you doing?
Hi.
Um, I told Kendra I'm more than comfortable with you being on here. I know I messaged you in the DM, and I said I thank you and I appreciate it. And you responded back and how the conversation when it went. But I do want to let you girl, don't let nobody in no comment section dim your light. If you feel like you worthy of that man, you go after that man. You know how many women out here chasing Chris Brown around the city of Chicago?
No, this
What?
is not good advice,
I
Demetri.
seen it myself.
Don't chase Chris Brown.
Hey,
Stop.
but don't chase Chris. He got security and stuff like that. But in my opinion, if I could tell you anything, never limit yourself to one. There's a million men wired and designed just like I am, and I think the thing about it is they're so diluted in this generation and made to feel like they can't be appreciated and all of these things. Your husband is here. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, I don't know how it works on Kendra's app. If you can change the name or, you know what I'm saying? Just be Missy and see how that goes. Because you are a, very attractive woman who any man would be lucky to have. It ain't about, but tell your ex-husband, stop DMing people. Call that nigga
That
tomorrow.
you know
You
why
tell
that
that nigga don't DM
you
nobody.
know why that's so crazy to me is because it really did just put out the perception that my life is toxic like that, and we like never talk like ever. Like my kids are old enough to communicate with their father themselves, and so there's no. He lives in Texas. Like we don't ever see each other. We don't ever talk. It's not like every day my life is like that. And I dated like one other person briefly, and like he saw him in person, and they spoke, and he left, and it was fine, and it was just like now you have this whole
They don't want to see you
perception,
be
like the
great.
whole world thinking that you, huh?
They don't want to see you be great. A man
And
cannot want you and walk away
that's
from you and
crazy to
leave you
me.
in every regard.
He got a whole wife at home, like an whole. It's crazy. So I don't know. That is
Yes, I'm finna
wild
inbox his
to
wife.
me.
I'm finna
That is
inbox his wife. When you
Well,
want to be
let
that was.
toxic, we can be toxic. He hating.
I was so surprised that he did that, and that was kind of the part where I was kind of whenever everybody was kind of, dragging me and being like, you have all this baggage. And the thing is like, yes, I do have kids, but for me, I just feel like the kid part, it's like, yes, that is a lot of responsibility. Um, and there's a lot that comes with that. But I guess for me, in my mind, because the way I think about love and relationships and family, I just feel like the more the merrier. That's the more love. That's more fun. That's more, it's just the way that
it's
my
more
kids.
bills, Missy. It's more
It's
bills. It's
that's
more.
true,
It's more
but that's
rooms.
true,
Hold
but
on,
it's
real quick.
also a two parent household and a two income household, and it's like we're doing it together. It's like I've been taking care of my kids all this time without a person, so it's like, why would I not be able to still take care of my kids with one? And
She
so
say my
I
baggage is
get,
packed.
well, okay, true, but the thing is, even people, and this is just the message that I want to put out there to other, women that are in this predicament, is that, or just everybody, like you can have less relationships and kids and still have more baggage. So like the baggage doesn't always hold the same weight. So
Facts.
me having two ex-husbands and four children, I could have less like it cannot be as toxic as somebody who had one relationship and one kid, or one marriage and one kid, or no marriage. You could not be married and still have more baggage than I have, like the weight that it holds or how toxic it is or whatever it may be. So it's not necessarily, I don't think that the numbers necessarily matter. I think it's every situation is different. So
I
I
think
just
I would agree with that. I think that's fair. You could be a woman that has no kids and have a lot of baggage. You could be a woman that has, like you said, one child. I think, and this is what I think Demetri alluded to it earlier. It's still the energy, right? That you
yeah.
just have to account for. And like you said, you came on this show and Demetri from the beginning, and he already talked about it. Your ex-husband reached out. So these are just things you cannot ignore if you decide to go to bat for a person. And then, like Demetri said earlier, does the risk outweigh the reward? Like, okay, I'm gonna go through all this, but you Beyonce, so I don't give a damn. I'm gonna deal with Jay-Z because we going to Spain and Puerto Rico and freaking Pluto, whatever the case may be. But is there anything else? I want to give you an opportunity to respond and say anything else. I will say this. I stand corrected, and I do still think he was a little crazy shot. But as a person that has been a go-getter in my life, and I know I have done things that I had to just go for it, and it worked in my favor. I think I owe you an apology in that manner because you went for it. You're here now talking to him. And
Yeah.
what you
Right.
said when you called me is you wanted a moment to talk to him, and
Yeah.
you felt like going to me was better than going through a Tonight Show. And in that manner, you are right, because now if you go to a Tonight's conversation, you would stand out amongst all the other women. So in that accord, I owe you an apology, because your method to get his attention was correct. And cheers to you, because you made it happen.
Well,
Oh
thank
And,
wow.
you
and,
for
and,
the apology.
and one more thing to add. You made it happen in front of the world, which is very difficult to do. Like, I'm going to keep it real. Coming on my show takes a lot of courage, because the world is going to talk about you. So the fact that you were able to block out all of the noise, me included, to say, I want this moment, I respect that. I have a different type of respect for you in this moment now, because you did what you got to do to make your dream happen. And your dream
Thank
happened.
you. Thank you, Kendra. And the thing about that is, it's because, and what I didn't say during the live with you is that, because even you stated, like, yes, you had interactions with him, but you didn't know, there were certain things you didn't know about him. And a
Right.
lot of people who were in the comment section saying all these things, like, they don't even, were never aware of him. And I feel like I know him to a certain degree. I know I don't know him personally, but there are a lot of things I do know. And just seeing how down to earth he is and seeing the way that he loves and the way that he's respectful, it's like, there was something in my spirit that just knew that, like, if he saw me, I didn't think that all the times that I was DMing him that he just saw my message and ignored me. I said at the very least, he probably would have said no, thank you, or he would have said something kind and polite like he did to me today. And so it's just like, I know him better than that. And I'm like, I think that he will. I'm not delusional, because I know this person to a certain degree, to where, I felt like that it was a possibility. And as far as like going to the shows and stuff like that, it's like, yes, you get that moment, but it's like, that's not the time in the place to have like a whole personal conversation. It's like, yeah, you meet somebody, but it's very brief, because there's thousands of other people trying to meet you too. I can't sit up there and talk to you and tell you the things. Like, I had inboxed him some advice, and these are things that I've been wanting to say to him for a long time. And that would have been the space to do it in. And so it's like, I just wanted to have a personal interaction so that I could really just talk to him. And one other thing I just want to address is, a lot of people were like talking about me saying I wanted to have fun and energy and stuff like that. And it's like,
Yeah,
and
okay,
then
real quick. Let's be clear. They were saying you just wanted to have sex with him
that's
for a
not what I
weekend.
meant by that at all. Like, literally, like, it's football season. I want to go to football games. Like, I just want to date to like go to the arcade. Like, I want to do stuff. It's like, I've been dating myself. I've been dating my friends. I've done a lot of healing over these past 7 years that I've been alone and single, and that was the purpose of that journey. And I'm in a really, really healed place, and that was a reason why I'm able to be like, to block out all the noise and be like, I don't care what people think about me. Like, I don't care what you're saying. Like, you don't know me, you don't know him, you don't know me. So it really just didn't matter. Like, what you have to say, does not impact my life. And I'm able to, like, I know myself, I love myself, I think I'm an amazing person. And so to be made to feel as though I wasn't good enough for somebody of his caliber, yes, I understand how compatibility works, but the way that we love, it's different. And I always say that my gift is my heart, because nobody loves as purely and as deeply and as intimately and as passionately as I do. And so when you see, it's like game recognized game. Like when you see that in another person, it's like, yes, you gravitate towards that because you're like, oh my gosh, they get it the way that I get it. Like it lands the same. And so I just really felt connected to him on that kind of level. And so I kept saying, even if it weren't to work out in a, a romantic way, I would still just like to spend time with you because we can, exchange that energy with one another. Like I feel like I still have something to offer to you, regardless of it not being my body, or regardless if it's, a forever or a marriage or anything like that. So it it was just, there's so many things, and I
Well, let me
intend
jump in.
to.
I wanted to let you definitely talk, but I want to just jump in with a couple of things. Let's take out the word good enough and replace it with alignment. Because I think what happens is, and I've been saying this because I want women to get this. Your worth is not determined on your relationship status, right? So I don't want you to think if you're not somebody's preference, this means you're worthless. It does not mean that. Everybody is worth everything because God
Mhm.
created us regardless of your relationship alignment. So it's not that, I don't think any of us was talking about whether you're good enough. At
Oh,
least
yes,
I
they
wasn't.
were.
Okay, well, from my perspective, it was the alignment, right?
Hmm.
The alignment of what he may desire for his life and maybe where you are with your life. And
Yeah.
the reason I brought up children is because that's a real thing. One thing in hosting this dating show, I have learned how important it is for men with legacy and how important it is for men that want to be with a woman that can bear their children. So you can be an amazing woman, and maybe that's a friendship, or maybe that was a one moment, but it might not be the alignment to a person's life. So it's not about good enough. I just thought from what you told me, this wasn't a proper alignment for a relationship type of situation.
Yeah,
And
and I
can I
and to
say
that,
this?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, then let Demetri, then I'll let you
Can
go
I
next.
can I say this real quick? Whatever the comment said, the thing about it is negativity will always find you. And I know as a lover, as you expressed you are a couple times, we always take it to heart. Don't take it to heart. Don't let these people who don't even know you tell you who you are and what you deserve. Regardless of what you come with, baby, shoot for the stars. And if you miss the star, I guarantee you're gonna land on a cloud. And that's better than where you are right now. So like Kendra told you earlier, the fact we're here is in your manifestation. This is something you
Yeah.
did. So congratulations and kudos to you. And nobody can ever take that away from you. What I do know now is that I'm gonna follow you on Instagram, and maybe one day, if I just so happen to be in whatever state you in, we can hit that football game and you can tell everybody, look what the fuck I did. Because all they gonna do is goddamn talk shit about you in the comment section. And it's just that simple. I don't take it to heart, never let it change who you are, and keep loving. It's just that simple.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And like I said, I felt like you were that type of person. And so that's why in my mind, whenever like, everybody kept saying she's delusional, I'm like, no, like I know what I know, and I feel what I feel, and I'm confident. And I do, like I said, I do love myself. I'm not concerned about it. I appreciate you for being here. I appreciate you for talking to me. And I mean, just really, truly, this is, I whenever I think I made a Kendra, you pinned my comment whenever at the very end I said I regret nothing, because even if he never even reached out, like I just would hope that my courage and my bravery would inspire somebody to be that same kind of way with their dreams and with something that they want to do. And so I really was just kind of like, go for it. Like
So
I'm
now
proud
let
of
me ask you
myself.
this. So, okay, we kind of got clear. This is not going to turn into a romantic
Right.
connection. Are you open to dating anybody else, Misty?
At this time, no.
Okay,
Not
okay,
really.
okay.
And let me explain a little bit about that just very quickly. Even the reason why I've been single for so long and why I'm not really open right now is it's because a lot of people in the comments too were saying, like, just sit down and take care of your kids. That's all I've been doing. All I've been doing. 20 years, both of my like ex-husbands like basically abandoned their kids. And so all I've been doing is sacrificing my entire life for my kids. In the last 7 years, like I said, I've been healing. I've been focusing on my kids. I've been focusing on relationships that I kind of abandoned, friendships and family that I kind of abandoned during my last marriage. And so I've really just been pouring into myself and pouring into the people that I love. And I've this is the first time that I really take a step out to do something for me. Like, and it was like, okay, like I'm to a place now, like where I feel like I'm I'm ready to do something, but also it's like for protection for my kids. People out here are weird these days. Like I don't just want to meet any stranger that I feel like I know nothing about and bring them into my world, and then it's like my kids could possibly be in an unsafe situation. So it's like I purposefully didn't want people around my kids. And also I just feel like that they and kind of like what made the shift whenever I was thinking about spending time with Demetri was like now they're to an age like where I feel like that they can somewhat protect themselves, and I've taught them how safe things or whatever and how to talk about it, but also like now I'm to a place like where it's like I want them to be able to see like what that looks like. I'm like, well, maybe I'm doing them a disservice by not being in a relationship, because they're never going to be able to witness what true love looks like. They're not going to have an example. Like Dmitri talks about, like his parents have been married forever and
Okay, so
he
Misty, because we got to go
cherishes
in a
that.
second, but I do want to ask this, so I'm gonna have to cut you in. What happened with your two husbands? Because you was married twice. Why did you get a divorce each time?
The first one cheated on me, and then the second one, he was a narcissist, and basically he moved us down to Texas for his job to try to isolate me, and then once we were there for about a year, he completely like abandoned us. And so, and what I will say is, marriage was serious to me. Um, my like I thought it was serious. Like I couldn't control anybody leaving. And my last husband that literally abandoned us, like he left, like packed a U-Haul while I was at work and was gone in the wind and left us with absolutely nothing, not $10. A couple days later, our power got shut off. I had to ask a church to help us like to survive. And so, I mean, he's barely been a father to the kids. I mean, he's somewhat present. Like I said, talks to them on the phone when they call him, but like he it was one of those things like where when he couldn't control me the way that he wanted to, is like he was just like, I don't want to try anymore. And I was willing to try. Even to this day, my name is not on the divorce papers because I said I'm not
Wait,
signing
you're
that
not.
because
Wait, hold on, because
no, we're divorced. We're divorced because the judge can still order that. But the reason I didn't sign, because in my mind I was so committed in saying that this could work if you would work it. Like there's nothing because he filed as irreconcilable differences, and I was like, things could be reconciled if you would do the work on yourself. But in marriage counseling, he never wanted to listen to what the counselors were saying because it was all on him. He had to change, and he never wanted to do the work.
okay.
And
So, but
so
but you are officially divorced.
yes, I'm
Okay.
divorced, but I said that to say I was so serious about the institution of marriage and fighting for love and to make it work, kind of like Demetri saying, like, we're doing this one time, no matter what we go through, this is it. And it was kind of like that was my mindset. And it's like, I don't agree, like, that we can't work it out if we really wanted to. And he
Did
just
you
didn't
feel
want
that way
to.
the first time you got married or the second time you got
The
married?
second time. The first time, it was just one of those things where we were never really in love. I got pregnant and I was part of the church, and they kind of, condemned and took me out of my leadership positions. And I felt like I needed to get married to appease people at that time. I was 20. Um,
Okay,
so
that
I
was
did it.
younger. I
Yeah. And then
understand.
he ended up cheating, and then that was just it. And
Okay.
so, yeah.
Okay. Well, so that
So,
means she's not ready to date right now. I want to ask this, Demetri, you are dating, correct?
I am correct.
Okay, he's dating. So we not we gonna leave it at that. Oh, we gotta leave it at that. So do you want more women to call me up asking for this moment? Like more women gonna be I probably gotta do a search of now that Mrs. Wiley is no longer taken because
I
you
have
changed.
taken that down. I have
Okay,
taken
yeah.
that down. And I just,
So let me see if there's a new Mrs. Wiley child because she probably
let me
she let it go. There might be a new one already,
Can I just
child.
say something
So,
really quick about that? The
Okay, real
purpose,
quick though, Missy,
I
because
promise, I promise it'll be quick. if you watch him, he talks about that a lot. He says like
I do.
Mrs. Wiley, da 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 da. And so it was. I wanted whenever I signed up for the app, I really didn't want to use my real name, and I had intended only to go live in the app. And so my purpose was, I was like, I want to put a different name so people can't find me on other socials and like blow me up in my DMs, whatever. And so I was like, what name do I pick? And then that just popped in my head. I was like, that's funny. And I'm like, I'm gonna use that just because it's like a play on his words.
Got you,
And
got you. There
yeah,
you go.
that's
And
it.
then you're not wearing your wedding ring. Your ring is, because I
No,
know
this
she was
on my
saying
other hand.
it's on her
It's
other
on my
hand.
other hand. Yeah.
All right.
This is
So
this is my
Demetri,
right hand.
okay. So Demetri, I'm gonna give you the final words because I have to do this YouTube show that I've been late for every platform tonight. But
Absolutely.
first of all, I want to say this. I appreciate you're such a good person. You're such a good
See?
person. Like I appreciate that, we connected. I already knew you were going to be as kind as possible, as direct as possible, but you're not a mean spirited
Not at all.
guy, like at all. So I respect you so much in that way. Definitely again, shout out all your stuff. But as you shout out all your stuff, because you got the words for the ladies, I want you to close us out.
Well, again, I'm Demetri Wiley. I do manifest Mrs. Wiley all the time, so she is indeed correct. It's Demetri Wiley everywhere, every platform. Um, Catch me outside with tonight's conversation. I have a podcast, Lost Level Boy Podcast. Kendra, I would love to have you on as well when you're in
Oh
Chicago.
yeah, and then I
Feel
didn't want
free.
to interject, but there's like he should be a guest host. He will be a host in the app, so we already talked about that. He's gonna have his own show
Absolutely.
within the app. I will let you guys know when Dimitri's show stumps off in the app, so you ladies can call him directly to find love. Well, you're gonna blow my app up when that happens, child. He
You
will be a
know,
host. This FYI. But back to what you were saying, I will definitely come
yes.
on your podcast, of course.
I am dating. I date very, very unconventionally. I date individually, one at a time. And I am dating a young woman right now, and that's what I informed you. Me personally, I'm flattered. But to me, to reach me, it doesn't have to be a grand affair. It just has to be God's alignment. And that can be in the grocery store. That could be seeing me at an event. That could be, as long as it's aligned by God, the timing will work. So I'm flattered, but no, I don't need any more people handling it this way. It's actually, very flattering, but
Okay.
thank you.
So
Thank you very
Misty
much.
won that. So no more ladies. Listen, so there's no more ladies that can call me for Dimitri. But I do want you guys to follow him. Follow him, follow him, follow him. We need some good energy in this world from black men in particular. He has a dope podcast. Follow him, follow his podcast. Again, we'll be on tour together. So as you guys come to
Absolutely.
see me, you're gonna see him. And Misty girl, at least listen, cheers to you, girl. Put a
Thank
smile on
you.
your face. I was even wrong, girl.
You're
I didn't
welcome,
even.
Kendra. Now your app is gonna explode more.
Oh no, my apple's gonna explode
I
regardless
know it
because
was.
God's
I know
behind it.
you've been doing your thing. I'm just
Yes,
saying.
thank you
Yeah.
very much, girl. But yes, when the time comes, and I've been telling you guys, cousins, that there will be individual shows on the app. Trey's gonna be one. Zach Boog, of course, and I've already talked to Dimitri, so he will have a show too. So y'all be able to call him and look for love and talk to his cute self at the same time. And y'all can just pretend in that moment when you're looking for somebody else, he your man. Okay, so just they're gonna be calling you asking for somebody else. But this is what happens when I have Trey. Trey hosts the show with me, but they really just be wanting Trey, and they be like, "Yeah, I'm looking for you." I mean, a certain guy. So that will come down the road. But
Let
in the
me
meantime, follow Demetri Wiley on Instagram. Follow his podcast, Lover Boy Podcast. Correct?
Lost Lover Boy for
Yes,
sure.
Lost Lover Boy.
Hmm.
He has a lot of things. That's why I want y'all to follow him. He's a lot of things. We're doing it tonight's conversation. Shouts to Ace. Shouts to Ace
Okay.
who brought us together for the
Absolutely.
tonight's conversation. Much love to Ace, metaphor for doing that. But follow Dimitri and Misty. Listen, when you are ready to date again, you call me.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Bye, everybody. We're gonna go to YouTube. All right. Bye,
No
everyone.
problem.
Thank you, Dimitri. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Absolutely.
Bye, guys. Kendra G Singles, the dating app, is available now on iPhones and Android phones.